Okay, this is problem 3 in lesson 4.1. I'm going to solve the two equations that we haven't already solved. Let me see if I can fix this. Yeah, okay. So the first one said 2 times the quantity x plus 4 divided by 3 is equal to 12. Just a reminder of the context of this. This means there were 12 people left at the table. And as we work backwards, we can figure out what order those 3 middle steps were. So working backwards, the opposite of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. So we're going to get 2 times x plus 4 is equal to 36 because 3 times 12 is 36. And 3 times 1/3 is 1, so that works on that side. Okay, now we're going to undo this multiplying because we can't have this 4 by itself right now because it's inside the parentheses. So we would have to distribute first, but it's easier, quicker sometimes, just to divide by this first. In this case, that is. So I'm sorry, I'm going to go back. So dividing by 3, that was the table divided into 3 groups. So that was number 4 on the list of things she wrote down in the original order. All right, now this was doubling. So double the number. That was when each person at the table had a person join them. So the way we get to the next step is divide. The inverse of doubling is dividing by 2, so we would end up here with x plus 4. And half of 36 is 18, right? Okay, now you can see that a little better. So then this was when 4 people joined the table. 4 people joined. And so the way we get out of that is we subtract 4. So now we have the original, at the table there were originally 18 minus 4, which is 14 people. So those of you that solved that, hopefully you got x equals 14. And so the order that things happened was they started with 14, 4 people joined, which was originally step 2. Step 3. And then doubling the number was originally step 1. Sorry, step 2. I'm thinking of the middle 3 steps, but step 1 and 5 don't change. And this was originally step 4. Okay, now they had another one for us. So I'm just going to call this A, although it doesn't say that in the book. All right, B. Let's move this up. Maybe need a little more space. Yeah. All right. So this other one they had that we have not already solved, it's 2 times the quantity x over 3 plus 4 equals 12. They're all equals 12 because that's how many people were at the end. It's the order of those 3 steps that are different. So in this case, again, we can't do anything with the stuff inside the parentheses unless we somehow make this 2 go away. So we could either use the distributive property, but we don't want to do that because then we'd have a fraction times x. That's a big hassle. It's much easier to take half of both sides. So we'll undo this half here. We'll undo multiplying by 2 by taking a half of 12, or dividing 12 by 2, which is 6. And then what we have left over here is x over 3 plus 4, because we divided by 2, so that made that 1 times this. All right. So that first thing that happened in this case was the doubling. Double the number of people at the table. Well, that's the first thing we're undoing. It's actually the last thing that happened. The next thing we're undoing is adding 4 people. 4 people joined the table. And to undo that, we subtract 4. So over here, we're going to end up with 6 minus 4, which is 2. So at that point, there were only 2 people at the table. And what happened there was dividing into 3 groups. So divide into 3 groups. So the way we do backwards of division is multiplication. So originally there must have been 2 times 3 is 6, 6 people at the table. Okay, and then what happened was dividing into 3 groups. That's step 4. S for step right there. Is that clear? Probably not clear. 4 people joined. That was originally step 3. Double the number was originally step 2. So the order here would have been 1, 4, 3, 2, 5. Started with 6. Divided into 3 groups gave us 2. 4 people joining gave us 6. Double the number gave us 12. And the order up here on this one step 1 and then step 3. Step 1 was 14. Step 3 was 4 people joined. Step 2 was double the number. Step 4 was divide into 3 groups. Okay, that's the end of 4.1.